Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic and a fascinating flower-based puzzle by Abdul the Killer today. We'll look at this in a moment, but don't forget we've got Patreon where you can do the monthly Sudoku rewards. There's loads of other content posted all the time, 600k stuff, 2 packs, and all sorts of other Sudoku content and crossword videos and all kinds of things. We'd love it if you would join us on Patreon. There's always a party there. And in our apps, you can try your skills on all kinds of puzzles as per the app titles particularly, but give those a go. They are great fun. Now, what else have we got? We've got our merchandise, e.g. a little mug like that. Why not get yourself a Cracking the Cryptic mug? And Sven's Sudoku pad. You can check out the links under the video. The first link is to this puzzle, The End of Daisies by Abdul the Killer. I will just warn you, in case the daisies don't show up, and this happens to me sometimes, one of the settings here is hide background image. And if I had that on, I don't know, looks like it's still there. But originally I called this up and that was off. And then when I turned it to off, the daisies showed up. So I don't know, it may be dependent on browsers or whatever, but you need to be able to see these daisies because they're in the rules. And the rules are these. So normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 goes in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. In the completed grid, cells containing numbers that are exactly 1 greater than an immediate neighbour, diagonal or orthogonal, within their box are shaded, and otherwise they are not shaded. So I'm just going to write a very random set of digits in this box, which I'm sure won't be right in the actual thing, just to show you which ones would be shaded. So 9 is touching 8 diagonally within the box. You're only looking within the box. Don't look outside the box when you're doing this shading. So 9 would be shaded. 8 is touching 7. 7 is not touching 6, so it's not shaded. 6 is not touching 5. 5 is not touching 4. But 4 is touching 3, which is touching 2, which is touching 1. So those 3 would be shaded. So that would be the shading pattern in this random box. That's how this shading works. Now, when we've done the shading, we have a yin-yang pattern, which means that the shaded cells form one single orthogonally connected region, as do the unshaded cells, and yet no 2x2 region is wholly shaded or unshaded. So let me try and come up with an area that might be shaded. Let's see if I can come up. No, I've already messed it up. That won't work. I don't want to actually come up with one of these regions. Oh, maybe I've thought of an algorithm for doing it. Here we go. There. That is a possible yin-yang region. If I shaded the area I've got highlighted, that would be fully shaded. There's no 2x2 regions and it's all connected. And the unshaded region would all be connected as well and no 2x2 regions. Now, so we have to achieve those 2 rules. And finally, the daisies. Values in cells with daisies give the number of shaded cells in the up to 8 surrounding cells. So let's look at this one. That's a 6. That's counting all these 8 cells. Now we are looking outside the boxes sometimes. And the daisy there is saying that 6 of these cells I've got highlighted are shaded. Now there's one further negative constraint. All possible daisies are given. I don't know if we're going to need that, but it is true. So those are the rules. It's a strange set. I'm looking forward to giving this a try. As I say, it's the first link under the video. Do give it a go. You will be able to judge from the video length, as I cannot judge how long this will take. I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. So I would rather we did Sudoku. So there's a 3 in one of those cells and a 3 in one of those. Got a lot of given 3s in these daisies. Oh, there's a 2 definitely there. That is just by Sudoku. There's a 2 in one of those. It looks like the daisies are particularly prone to giving us 3s and 2s. And I've kind of run out of steam at that point in terms of ordinary Sudoku, which is a shame. Now, I know a couple of things about yin-yang, and let's try and remember what they are. One is a really important feature of a yin-yang pattern. The perimeter can only contain a maximum 2 runs of colour. One shaded and one unshaded, maximum. Now, why is that? And I'll just try and demonstrate. If you shaded that lot, and then you tried to have a second run of shading like that in the perimeter, then as soon as you joined those two up, not via the perimeter, and you have to join them up because the shadeds are all joined, then you have broken off 2 unshaded sets from each other. So if you joined them across there, there's an unshaded at the top and an unshaded at the bottom. And that would always work if you have 2 separate shaded runs in the perimeter, or 2 separate unshaded ones. Therefore, it is just possible that there is only one, the perimeter is all one colour. It is much more likely, and I don't think I've done a puzzle which had that, it's much more likely the perimeter has 1 run of shading in it only. Now, what does that mean for this corner cell? That says 1 of these 3 is shaded. No, first of all, I can use the rule about 3 seeing 2. 4 sees 3 and 3 sees 2. Those 2 are both shaded. 2 doesn't see 1, so that's unshaded. Oh, we're away here. Now, another thing I know about yin-yang, I haven't got to the perimeter yet, although I can now actually. That 1, the 1 shaded cell it sees is there, so those 2 are unshaded. Now, another thing I know about yin-yang is that you don't have any checkerboard patterns. If I made this cell I'm in yellow, and then I have to join it up with the yellow group that includes that. And to do that, I'm going to cut off either that grey or that grey cell so that 3 and 4 there can't join together. If I manage to connect these up, I am literally unable to connect 3 and 4 together. So there's no checkerboards. So therefore this is shaded. I don't think that helps me with its number particularly. It just has to see the number below it. Oh, 3 is shaded because it sees 2. 4 is shaded because it sees 3 there. By the way, every central box digit will be shaded unless it's a 1, I reckon. So I can actually shade this because there's got to be a 2, in fact specifically 2 in one of those places. So that 3 does see it. Anyway, that's just a sidelight. Now, look, we've got a yellow area here and a grey area here. We're only allowed 1 run of each, so that goes yellow. And we've got these 2s hanging out near the corners. Right, this is saying that, well, it's saying that 2 of those 5 cells are shaded. And therefore, that's pretty clear, and I've chosen the right 2 to look at. That's pretty clear that these 3 can't all be shaded, and therefore the shaded run does not include that group. One of them at least is yellow, is unshaded. And since this yellow has to reach that around the perimeter and it can't come through this shaded cell, it's going to have to go all the way around the outside of the grid at least to there. And bingo, I've just shaded at one fell swoop 21 cells, or coloured them, I mean. So now I've got to avoid some 2x2s in those positions. Then I have to avoid a checkerboard there. This 2, it needs shaded cells there and there. This 2 needs shaded cells there and there. The daisies seem very helpful. This 4 has got its shaded cells already, so these are all unshaded. This 3 hasn't got any. That 2, well, that's... This 2 might mean that these are yellow and those are the 2 grey ones. This is a 3 as well, so 3 of these are shaded, but they can't all be these 3. I'm not quite sure what else this means. Let's just keep going though. That 4 is going to shade 4 of these 5 cells, which is, oh, that doesn't look right now. Hasn't that got to create a 2 by 2 of some sort? No, if you leave that one unshaded, it doesn't. I think if you leave any other cell unshaded, you either create a 2 by 2 there or there. So that is the unshaded cell. These are all shaded. We're in business here. Now, what next? That's yellow because yellow has to get out. These can't both be shaded grey, or that would create 2 by 2s. Okay, I don't know what that does for me. Let's keep trying to use, almost all of these are yellow because that 3 has already seen 2 shaded cells. Oh, whichever one of these is a 3 is shaded because it's seeing that 2, so it's got to be there. That's shaded, that's not. There's a 3 in one of those cells, but if it was here, it would be shaded. Oh, there is a lot of scope to do well in this puzzle. Right, 3 is in one of those 3 cells, but if it was there or there, it would be shaded as it would be touching the 2. So 3 is there now. Then there's a 3 in one of those 2. Actually, there's quite a lot of ways into this. I mean, it certainly helps to know this perimeter trick. I was wondering with the title, The End of Daisies. I mean, Abdul the Killer is quite a negative name in the sense that, you know, I'm hoping he's killing flies or he likes killer Sudoku, which are fine. But The End of Daisies is sort of quite negative flower connotation. Anyway, 3 seems to, this 3 has to see its 2 in the box, so that 2 has to be there. One of these 2 is a 2 by Sudoku. I think there's going to be a lot of ways to do this, weirdly. Now, that 2, one of its greys is there. So this can't be grey, or that would also have to be grey to join up to the perimeter grey. So these 2 are yellow. Now we know that that 2 doesn't see the 1 in the box. So the 1 is up here. This 2 also doesn't see the 1 in the box, so its 1 is down there. This 2 does see the 1, oh, sorry, one of those 3 cells. This 2 does see its 1, so we can fill that in here. No, it doesn't see its 1 because it's unshaded as well. So the 1 goes in there, in fact, sorry. 1 is always unshaded, so that's yellow. I don't know if this is yellow or not. Now, this 2 needs another grey cell, but it could be in either place. This 4 has done its job. That 3 has now got all its greys, so those go yellow. This hasn't got any. This 7, I thought this was going to be a starting point. This is a huge number. 7 greys around in these 8 cells. Okay, the one that isn't won't be in a corner. It'll be orthogonally touching the 7. Therefore, I can colour all of these grey. Now, the reason is, if you had a blank in the corner, all of these would be grey, and you'd either make this central 7 grey and create 2 by 2s, or you'd make it yellow and cut it off. So the yellow cell around this is not in the corner, it's in one of these 3 cells. The 6 is already seeing 4. It's not quite as powerful as the 7 in terms of what the number means. Now, the 2 is seeing a 1, so the 1 is somewhere here, and therefore there is a 1 here somewhere. This 2 is not seeing its 1, we've done that. That 2 is not seeing its 1, we don't know here. That 2, I don't know its colour. That 3 needs a further grey cell here, doesn't it? Yes, that's just to count things. So that's got to join up. This 2 has now found its 2 greys already, so those go yellow. This has to be grey to avoid 2 by 2s. That grey now has to get out to at least here. This is grey to avoid a 2 by 2. That's grey to avoid a checkerboard. That's grey to avoid a checkerboard. And that's yellow to avoid a 2 by 2. We are getting close to finishing off the colouring already. 11 minutes in. This has been unexpected. I didn't think this was going to go like this. Brilliant. I'm very happy. That 3 has seen 2 greys there. Now, this 7, we worked out it's going to see 2 greys and a yellow in these 3 cells. So one of those is grey, and that's the 3rd grey that this is seeing. So that goes yellow. One of these is grey, and one is yellow to make that 3 work. The one that is yellow is the only yellow that 7 sees, so that's grey, which I could have done by checkerboard. That's yellow to avoid a 2 by 2. This yellow area has to get out, so it has to come out there. I don't know. Either this yellow has to get out somewhere or this grey has to get out somewhere. That's not quite so clear cut to me what's going on. Now, we've got that 2 sees its 1, which must be in one of those cells. That has ruled out 1s from those places. That's a 1. That 2's not seeing its 1. This 3 is seeing its 2. That 3 is seeing its 2. That 3 is grey and seeing its 2. I was looking at flowers and I should be looking at colours. That 7 doesn't see its 6. So its 6 is not in those cells and is in one of those. Then there's a 6 in one of those. The central digits are always grey. If they're not, they're a 1. There we go. There's a yellow one that is a 1. I'd forgotten that rule that I came up with earlier. Because the central digit sees everything around it. And it will always have a number 1 below it if it's anything other than a 1. So this is grey if it's not a 1. And it's not a 1. Because we can see the pattern. So we know that 1s are there and there. Now, this yellow still has to get out. So it has to go there. Then it either goes north or east. Now, do I know whether this 6 sees its 5? I don't see how I know that. This 3 sees its 2. That's not a 1 anymore. Oh, 1 can never be grey, so that's not a 1. Oh, I'd forgotten that's a corollary. That can't be 1. 1 is always yellow. Oh, well that's no good. I've done something wrong then. Oh, this is very disappointing. I've done something badly wrong because I can't fit a 1 into this box. Oh, botheration. Why did I say 1s had to be here? Let's go back to when I put the 1s up at the top. Sorry about this, but oh, it's because that 2 is a flower and I thought it had to touch its 1, but it's yellow. That means it doesn't touch its 1, and I can fill its 1 in there. And 1s are always yellow. This is what I should have done. Okay, I got that bit wrong because I got confused between flowers and colours. There we go. My apologies. Now, can I use the learnings I had? Yes, that 3 needed a grey. That grey needed to connect. That 2 has got its greys, so those go yellow. These have to be grey and get out because of avoiding that 2 by 2. Grey there for the checkerboard. Yellow there to avoid the 2 by 2. Here we go. Now, this grey does have to get out in one of these cells. That 3 is seeing 2 and 1 of these. The 7 is seeing a grey and yellow. In fact, that has to be yellow because of the 3. And one of these is grey and one is yellow. This is better. One has to now, that's grey for the 2x2. That's grey for the checkerboard. That's grey for the checkerboard. That's yellow for the 2x2. One has to be on a yellow cell, so it's there, and these aren't one. This has repaired the puzzle, and we're still flowing along. Now, one has to be in a central yellow cell. That's still true. Good, I'm glad I remembered that. Now, it's just grey and yellow. I don't think about the flowers when I think about touching digits. What I think about with the flowers is how many grey cells they see. Got one of each there, and that 6 is already seeing 4. I don't think that's so easy to complete, actually. Oh, this yellow has to get out to there. And this grey gets out in one of those cells. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to complete that. There's a 1 in one of these cells, but it has to be yellow, so it's in one of those two. Sudoku is my better friend. 4 can't be there. So 4 in the, because it wouldn't be touching 3, but it would be grey. So 4's in one of those two in box thingy what's it. That can't be a 4 because it's touching the 3 and it's yellow. Yeah, this is a weird rule set to work with. I think I've worked with it once before, but not for a long time. And I probably wasn't any good with it before. Now, if that's a 2, it's definitely grey. If that's a 2, that's a 1. I don't know how to use that. That 3 is touching its 2. What do I do next? Two here is definitely not touching its 1 in the box, wherever it is. So the 2 is yellow and the other digit here is grey. That probably doesn't help me identify where the 2 is. Oh dear. 3, 2. Yeah, I don't know how to do the numbers in this puzzle. That's becoming suddenly very clear to me. I don't know how to do them. 4 can't be in those cells. If that was a 4, that would have to be 3. If that was a 4, that would have to be 3, so it wasn't touching. That can't be a grey 4, so if that was a 4, it would be, yeah. This is confusing me now. It's just these 3 daisies that have any determination of the remaining colours, and they're not enough for me. Unless I'm missing something about the whole shape. If they were grey, yellow would have to get out through here. Then that would be grey. That's fine. If that was grey, that would be grey to avoid a checkerboard. And then that would be the last grey cell. And yellow would get out through the top. No, I don't know how this works. Okay, I'm going to say this is grey actually. If this is grey, that has to be grey, that's yellow, and that's grey. So the 6 greys would be there. If this is yellow, then the 6 greys around it are... I thought they had to include this. Yeah, that grey has to get out then. If that's yellow, that grey has to get out. So that's always grey, that cell. And it's therefore not 1. And in fact, 1 has to be in yellow. So that's 1, and that's yellow, and that's going to help us with the colouring. That now is, I don't know, I was going to say it's definitely grey. Whichever one of these is a 2 is grey. I still don't know. If this is grey, that's grey. If this is yellow, then I don't know which one is grey. That's so strange. Okay, that hasn't finished the colouring, but it got more of it done. We got 2 1s into the central digits. Now I need to do some other colouring. These are coloured cells. I suppose they could be 9 and 8 with a 7 there. They can't be 6 and 5 because of where 6 is. So that could be 5. And then this could be touching its 1 lower number there. Yeah, I don't know. That's not very helpful. This digit is not touching 2 or 1 because it's not 2 or 3. So the digit it's touching is that one. There is a sort of white dot. I've got to find a way to put that in because I've learnt it and I need to use it. So I'm putting a white dot in there. That's a white dot. It doesn't look like it. It looks like a pink X. But those are consecutive. And this is not 2, 1, 4, 7 or 3. I don't think that tells me anything about what it actually is, frustratingly. It's very difficult. I don't know what the target cells of these grey cells are. Two here is yellow. We know that, whichever one it is, because it can't touch its 1. How could that be 3? That couldn't be 3 because it would have to touch 2 in one of those cells and they're all ruled out. So that's not where 3 is. 3 is here and it's not touching 2, which is therefore in one of these 2 cells. That's quite interesting. 1 has to be in yellow in this box and it's in one of those 2. So wherever the 2 is, it's not touching 1. So it can't be here because then it wouldn't be grey. So that's 2, that's 1. This is now not 2, that's 2, and that is grey, and that should help with the shading. This has to be yellow to avoid a 2 by 2. It's seen all its 6, so that's yellow, and the yellow digit here was going to be a 2, so that's 2. This is now grey for the 7. This is yellow to avoid a 2 by 2, and the shading is all done. Good. And that's not a 1 by Sudoku now. So we might have all the 1s, 2s and 3s done. Certainly if I fix this one, how many 1s? Oh, I get to put 1 more in down here. How many 2s have I got done? The lot. How many 3s? The full set. How many 4s? Just the 2 given ones. Poor effort. But now there must be places where 4s can't go, like there, and there. I don't know, it's tricky. 4s could be in those, but not in those. None of those can be 4. 4 can't be here. I don't know, this isn't easy at all to see how you make further progress. One, 3, 6, 2, 7. That could be 4. Oh, I'd forgotten the negative constraint about the flowers. I don't think it can matter because I've done the whole pattern. Oh, it can matter. Yeah, it can matter because the number would be in a daisy if it was correct. Oh, that's strange. Right. How am I using that anywhere? I mean, this would be a 6 if it had a flower, so it can't be a 6. Oh, this is not an easy rule to use. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get too involved in that. I'd rather if that disambiguated 1 or 2 numbers at the end. I need some way to progress here. Almost all of these see the number below them. Only this one doesn't. So if that was 4, we would then have to join a chain linking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in a line. This is not 4, of course, because we've got a 4 there. So whatever this is, its next lower digit is right there. But that does see its lower digit. So one of these is a 4, and a grey 4 has to be next to 3. So one of these is the 4. If that was a 7, that would be 6. I don't know if it enables me to trace a path. It doesn't feel like it does, so I'm going to have to think a little harder about this puzzle. What I'm really doing now is doubting that I ever have seen something like this before, because it just seems like I can't have. That's definitely an interesting spot because it's yellow and yet it sees all of these, so its lower digit has to be there. So that yellow, it's the digit 1 below it has to be here somewhere. That yellow, which is 5, 7, 8 or 9, the digit 1 below it has to be up here. I don't know, I find this very tough. 1, 3, 2, 4. 4 in this box can't be here because it wouldn't be yellow. So 4 is in one of these cells, and it's not there because it wouldn't be grey. 4 must be here in box 4. And that fixes our positions for 4 in box 7. That's taken a long time to see. It's very clear. Now, that could be 4, that can't be 4, and that could be 4, given the colours and where 3 is. So one of those is a 4. Those can't be 4. So 4 is in one of these 2 cells in box, whatever this is. And one of these 2 in box 5. That was box 6, wasn't it? Now, 4 can't be there or there. So 4's in one of these 3 in box 3. This is worth noting down. 4 can be there, but it can't be here. And it can't be here, but it can be here. It's in one of those 2 in box 2. That's such weird positions for 4 in the rest of the puzzle, but I think those are complete. Can I do anything with 5s as a result? That can't be 5. Because it would be touching 4. That can't be 5. Yes, it can. That can be 5. That can't be 5. 5 could be in either of those positions or either of those, so it's not that exciting. That can't be 5, but those could, that could, and either of these. Oh, this X, this had to be touching that. This is a 5. I'd forgotten that I'd done that X, which was a consecutive marker. Right, 5 can be there and it can be there, but it can't be here because it's not touching the 4 then. So 5's in one of those cells. 5 could be there, but it could also equally be in either of these. 5 can't be here, so it's in one of these greys. That can be 5, those can't be 5. So 5's in one of those spots. Now, 5 could be there or here, but it could also be in either of those or either of these. Literally every one of these cells seems able to be a 5. Every one of the unfilled cells here. Similarly, both of those and that can all be 5. And that might be 5 if 4 was there. No, that's the other way around. Either of those and that. Yes, if that was 5, 4 would be here instead. Five could be here, that would be fine. 5 could be here if one of these was a 4. And 5 could be in either of those cells if that was a 4. Oh, I've got I've got lots of possible positions for 5. Right, 5 can't be here because it won't touch the 4. And it can't be here because it will touch the 4. 5 here puts 4 there. 5 here also puts 4 there. But 5 here puts 4 there. This is very, very difficult. Flowers? Am I meant to use this negative flower constraint? It seems vicious. I don't want to have to use that, but I might have to. There just aren't many places for high digits in this puzzle that... I mean, that's what taught me that this can't be 6. But I kind of knew that anyway, because this can't be 5. This is 1 less than that one, because it's the only cell it won't touch. Okay. These are from 6, 8, and 9. Now, 7 is yellow, so that's not 6. This is 9 or 8, and the digit immediately below it's either 8 for that 7, or it's 9, in which case one of these is 8. Two, 7, 3, 1. So we've got 5 to place. 5 there puts 4 here. 5 there puts 4 here. And 5 here puts 4 there. This could very easily be a 5-4 pair. 6 can't be here because it would be the wrong colour, but given where 5 is, and this can't be 7. So this is 8 or 9, and the number below it is obviously touched. Then do you have to jump between these? These can't be consecutive or they wouldn't both be yellow. So they're not a 6-7 pair. Therefore this is 6 or 7. Now 9 is definitely in one of these cells. One of these is 6, 7. I don't think either of these can be 8, because that would make this 9. Oh no, is that a problem? That's not a problem. Maybe I was going to say, if either of these was 9, that's a problem, because that would be 8, and yet this would be yellow and it would be touching it. So these can't be 9. These are 6, 7, and 8. This must be 9. And these can't be consecutive, or one of them would be grey. Oh, this is such a confusing puzzle. That is 6 or 8. This is the number 1 above that, which is 7 or 9. Okay, I think this box works now. Oh, there's no chance of deploying the anti-daisy rule. I don't think so. Not even there. Now, 9 is definitely in one of these two cells. If 9 was there, that's 8. Then this would have to be 7 by Sudoku. That would touch a 6, which would touch a 5, which would touch a 4, so they'd have to be in a sequence. So if that's 9, that's 8, 7, either 6, 5, well, 5 in the middle. But if that's 7, that's 6. Then this is 9. Oh, this is a 7-9 pair. That's just Sudoku. So this is a 4-5 pair. And they're all obeying the rule. This is 6 or 8 by Sudoku. If it's 6, that's 5. Right, these are either 4, 5, 6 or 4, 5, 8. Now, does any of those have a problem? I don't see it if either of those options does. Five, 6. This can't be 6. That's quite interesting, because that would be the 5 in the box. So that's 5 or 8. This is just Sudoku. That's 5, 6 or 8. Three, 1, 6, 2, 7. Yeah, it was quite interesting about this pair having to be non-consecutive. If that could work somewhere else, like here, these two are non-consecutive, so they're not 4 and 5. These two, which include digits from 6, 7, 8, 9, are non-consecutive. Whereas these two probably are consecutive. Maybe not. Each one, whichever is the higher digit, has to be touching its lower digit, but that could be there. Oh, this is tricky. Just need to keep thinking, try and come up with some way of doing this. If that was a 6, this would be 5, and that would be 8. That would have to be 9, and that would be 7. But if that was 6, this would be 5. I don't think that could work. This can't be 6. Because the 7, I know that could work fine. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm getting as inarticulate as Simon about this puzzle now. And that's a very cruel and unnecessary jibe. 1324. Okay, this must be the digit above 2, 4, or that. And it's not the digit above 2 or 4, so it's the digit above that one. It's 6, 7, or 9. This is the digit above one of those three. Similarly, this is the digit above one of those two, which is either 5, 7, or 8. So this is 6, 8, or 9. That is the digit above one of those two, which are from 4, 5, or 8, therefore, whichever one this is above. So this is 5, 6, which it can't be, or 9. So that's 5 or 9. If it's a 5, that's a 4. If it's a 9, one of these is an 8. Just looking at places where things can't touch. That is one bigger than one of these, but it's not bigger than 1 or 3, so it's one bigger than that. So that is 6 or 9. So 8 is either here or here. If that was 7 or 6, that's the number below this. So 9, 8, 6, 5, 8, that would be 8. Yeah, I don't see what that's doing. This is one above that. And you'd have 8, 5, 4 here. 5 would have to be touching the 4. Oh, so 5 would always be in the middle. 5 is always touching the 4. And the 4's in one of those two cells, so the 5 has to be in the middle. That's taken a long time to see. Now, 5 is in one of these cells. And if it's in either of these, well, it can't be there because it wouldn't be touching the 4 in one of those cells. So neither of these is a 5, and that's not a 5, so the 5 in row 3 is here, which is doing its job. Now there's no 5 up there. Okay. So that is one less than that. So that is 7 or 9 now. 1, 3, 2, 4, 5. This one is one bigger than one of these three. So it's not a 7. And now I've got a 6, 8, 9 triple in the top row. So the other digits in the top row are 4, 5, and 7. And for that to be a 7, 6 would have to be here. And then that would have to be a 4 in turn. So that's not possible. So that's not a 7. So one of these is a 7. Now, can I rule out 4 or 5? If this was a 4, 5 has to be in a grey cell and there. Otherwise, this is a 5. So 5 is definitely in one of those two cells and not here. 5's in one of these. If that's a 5, this can't be 6. Oh, that would have to be 6. Because we've got this given 6. 6 couldn't be there or there, and that wouldn't be able to be 6 if that was 5. So if this is 5, that's 6. Otherwise it's 4 and this is 5. So this is always one more than that one. It's so strange. 6, 1, 3, 2, 4, 5. The numbers in this row are from 7, 8, 9. Now this one sees its lower neighbour and it must see it there. This must be 8 looking at a 7 there. Must be. Bingo. So that's 8 looking at 7 there, which is not looking at 6, and that's a 9. Okay, this is 8. This is a 7, 9 pair. That can't be 9 because of the grey, so that's 7 touching a 6, which is touching a 5, and that gives us a 4 here. These two are now a 4, 7 pair. These are from 5, 8, 9. How is this going to work? If that was a 9, this is 5, that's 8. Then 7 would have to be here. If that's a 5, then that's 4. Then 8 has to be here and 7 has to be there. There do seem to be ways of doing that, annoyingly. I can place 4 in the central box, and this is part of a 6, 8 pair. And 8 has to touch 7. So 8 is here, and that's 6. And that makes this 6 and that not 6. This can't be 9 now or it would be lying, so 9, 8 are that way round. 6 is not touching 5, so 5's over there. I can't see how that didn't unwind those. Oh look, I've had a given 7 doing that 4, 7 pair forever. Now, this can be 5, but that can also be 5. This can't be 8 anymore because it wouldn't be touching the 7. So there we go. Those get resolved. Now I've got 5, 6, 7 triple here. 8 gets placed, 4 gets placed, 9 in the corner. This is crazy. That 8 and 6 are done. This is a 5, and didn't this have to be one more than that? Yes, it did. That's a 6, that's 9. Fill in 7 and 8. Hopefully this all works. Now that's not 5, that's not 6, that's not 7. This is a naked 5. That's a 6. Actually, this 7, 9 pair are done. That's a 7. That's 5. That's 7. In the bottom row, I'm just doing Sudoku now and hoping that the rest takes care of itself. So I think that makes this a 9. And now I'm going to just check every one box. 9 not touching yellow. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So box 1 works. That's very encouraging. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, not touching 4, is touching 3. Yes, box 2 works. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and then we never touch again. Okay. 9, 8, 7 is right. 6, yes. 5 is touching 4. 3, yes, that box works. I think we're looking good. If 4 of the boxes work, surely I can't go wrong at this point. Well, it's just very comforting that we're doing the right thing here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, yes. 9, 8, 7. This was the box I was worried about for some reason, but this seems just as good as the others. This goes 9, 8, that's good. 7, and then yellow 6. 5, 4, 3, and yellow 2. Yes. 9 in yellow, 8 in yellow, 7 in yellow, 6 and 5 in grey, 4, 3, 2, 1. It works. So this 9 does finish the puzzle correctly. What an intriguing, weird, and very difficult puzzle. And we have found all the daisies. Now, I didn't ever use the daisy negative constraint in the end. I tried to for a bit. Didn't help me. But what an intriguing puzzle. Absolutely mind-blowing. Wow, well done, Abdul the Killer. That really is entertaining and exactly the sort of thing I love doing. Thank you for watching us on the channel as always, and we really hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.